Today I want to be talking about some sacred objects in Tibetan Buddhism. First, I'd like to give a little history of Tibetan Buddhism. Buddhism was introduced from India and China into Tibet in the 600s. Over the years, it became the dominant cultural form in Tibet where it had a powerful influence not only on their religion, but also on multiple aspects of society. According to Khan Academy, Tibetan Buddhism inherited many of the traditions of late Indian Buddhism, including a strong emphasis on monasticism, a sophisticated scholastic philosophy, and elaborate forms of tantric practice. At the same time, Tibet continued its tradition of powerful popular cults, incorporating a wide variety of local deities into the already burgeoning Buddhist pantheon. Something that is unique to Tibetan Buddhism is the institution of the Toka, or incarnate Lama. Tibetan Buddhists believe that compassionate teachers are reborn again and again, and they are identified when they are children and given the office and prestige of their previous rebirths. And as you can see on the right, there's a picture of the 14th Dalai Lama and a picture of the Buddhist deity White Tara. Two of the most important ritual objects in Tibetan Buddhism are the prayer bell and the dorje or vajra. The dorje or vajra represents method, and the prayer bell represents wisdom. During prayer rituals, the dorje is held in the right hand and the bell is held in the left hand. When the two are combined together, this symbolizes enlightenment because they embody the union of all dualities: bliss and emptiness, compassion and wisdom, appearance and reality, conventional truth and ultimate truth, male and female, and so on. Method is the compassionate activities done by the bodhisattva to relieve the miseries of living beings through the skillful means that eliminate ignorance, greed, cruelty, etc., in order to follow the path to enlightenment. Wisdom is the direct insight into ultimate reality, and it is the wisdom that realizes emptiness. The bodhisattva accumulates merit and insight through combining method and wisdom to eventually attain Buddhahood. The prayer bell is rung to evoke protection from deities, to represent a call to serenity, and to indicate that it is time to start prayer and reinforce faithfulness. And on these pictures you can see the prayer bell and the dorje next to each other, and then the bottom one shows the dorje up close. Another sacred object in Tibetan Buddhism is the Tibetan drum, or damaru. There are 3 different types of damaru, but the most widely used one is one called the chod damaru. It is made of wood and leather skins, and is usually 8 to 12 inches in diameter. It is played by rolling it from side to side, so the small beads on the end of strings will hit the drum heads. The chod damaru is used during the tantric practice of chod, where a believer tries to quote, cut through the problems that face them and hinder their quest for enlightenment. And below you can see some examples of this drum. The fourth sacred object in Tibetan Buddhism is the right-turning conch shell. The outside is decorated with patterns of the Buddhist faith and painted in light white colors. The shell represents water in Buddhism's pervasiveness and is one of the 8 auspicious symbols of Buddhism, the Ashtamangal. It is used to bring and call followers together to meet, and during rituals it is sometimes used as a musical instrument or to carry holy water from one place to another. According to GreatTibetTour.com, according to legend, when the Buddha Shakyamuni turned the wheel of Dharma in the Sarnath for the first time, his voice was as loud as the sound of a large conch, resounding everywhere. Sakra, the ruler of heaven, presented the Buddha with a right-turning white conch shell, representing the deep and pervasive sound of the Dharma. Since then, the right-turning white conch shell became a symbol of good luck, and you can see some examples of what this shell looks like below. A fifth sacred object in Tibetan Buddhism is Tibetan prayer beads, or malas. Malas are well-known ritual items, and they are composed of 108 beads that are kept on a string, or sometimes 25 beads for easier counting. There is one guru bead that is bigger than the rest, and it acts as the starting and stopping marker for the mantra. One of the preliminary practices for accumulating merit is practicing the mandala offering. When practicing the mandala offering, the prayer beads help Buddhist monks focus on the meaning of the mantra rather than counting rounds while chanting. Prayer beads are made from different materials, but the most commonly used ones are those made from Bodhi tree seeds. This is because the Buddhist scriptures state that the Buddha once attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. So the Bodhi tree seeds symbolize achieving the ultimate happiness, and believers will gain more merit while using Bodhi prayer beads during tantric practice and exoteric practice. And you can see some examples of what these look like. And this brings us to the end of my presentation over some sacred objects in Tibetan Buddhism. And here are all my works cited.